So I asked this last meeting, but I want to re-ask it. This means that the debt, which is now 555 million, 556 million, is going to be augmented by 45 million through the leases. And the second part is, what exactly is the repayment schedule? It was said last time it was 1.8 million until 2014, and it got stopped there. 1.8 million on 45 million is pretty much just the interest only. I mean, it looks like it. What is this repayment schedule, or what will it be? You know, the repayment schedule for these bonds.
All right, thank you, Mr. Berry. I'll call up Ms. Enright, please.
The repayment schedule is over 30 years. The reason it's interest only until a certain date is because the county has its own obligations that are maturing during that period of time, and we didn't want to increase the county's payment schedule during those earlier years. This is a lease financing. It's not part of the county's debt. It's just a lease arrangement. So it's not part of the official debt.
So it won't be added to the county's debt.
It's not included in that.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Enright. Hope that helps, Mr. Berry.
Matters in Garwood. Obviously, the last public speaking portion about 2 weeks ago, I'm sure you heard me talk about this. I'm going to be asking the board to vote no on this, only because $45 million is an extravagant amount. The pictures I passed out show that obviously it's not an efficient building, that it should be more austere at a lesser cost. You're using the term lease arrangement of $1.8 million in the early years. I guess the question actually is, what is the payments in the later years? And that $1.8 million, I mean, where is that coming from? If there is no increase in debt, who's going to be paying this $1.8 million? And it sure sounds like you're already so sure of it. So. You must have contracts in place. The building's not even built. But I'm asking you to vote no. I've called it a boondoggle, and I still maintain that term. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Patterson. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Yeah, John Berry, Kenilworth. And I have the ordinance here. And this is what's confusing me. Section 5A says, I'll read the whole thing. Well, the guarantee ordinance may be adopted notwithstanding any statutory debt or other limitations, whatever. And it says here, being an amount not to exceed 45 million shall, after their issuance, be included in the gross debt of the county for the purpose of determining the indebtedness of the county under or pursuant to the local bond law. And so that's what's confusing me. It looks like this ordinance includes something saying it is debt, and if it's not debt, how is it not debt? That is, who is paying this $1.8 million? It's 45 million is outstanding. The bonds are going to be issued, so not to be argumentative, but what is it if it's not debt? I mean.
All right, thank you. Mr. Debt.
The Improvement Authorities law and the local bond law, any ordinance adopted, the county has to adopt a supplemental debt statement. It's listed as gross debt and is then deducted from that and is not part of the county's overall net debt for purposes of the county's debt limitations. The lease payments are lease payments from the county to the authority. They're not part of your debt structure.
So it will be, where does the revenue come to pay off the debt? Is it from the courts themselves?
Well, it's the agreement with the county in terms of supporting the court system.
All right.
Good evening. Dave Baumgartner, Summit. I would say this project did prompt quite a few questions at Summit regarding the need for and the cost of. The initial numbers that we read about in Summit was that the project would be $36 million, and now it's 45. So if I could be told, as I could bring back current information, what the difference is. We also are aware that I think it was 55% of the building, or maybe 45% of the building is going to be devoted to the family court, 6 different family court chambers, which I can certainly see why those would be needed. The rest of the space, as we know it in Summit, is going to be occupied by Union County offices. And so the second question would be specifically what offices of the Union County government would go into the new building, and why is it critical to have this building versus where they're currently located? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman. There is a difference, and I think Fredo and Sullivan, I don't think you guys were here, but went over the difference. $36 million was the cost of the construction. The difference is the cost of the removal of the...
Well, it was the acquisition of the properties. It was the demolition of the properties that were on there as well, some remediation, and some of the cost of the financing to make the total of $45 million.
And there is a portion of the space that was dedicated to the Union County Improvement Authority, and then there's also, what's the other space now? Is there other, what's the Sheriff's Department? Okay, so it's between the areas.
But I believe the court space is more like 70%, 70 to 75% is courtroom space, and the rest is various county offices.
County Manager?
In terms of, yes, that would be for the Sheriff's Office, the Union County office component, and that's required by state law that officers be there at each of the various courts in requisite numbers.
So it's only necessary because the court is there, they need space to, have their office there.
That's correct.
All right, very good. Question. Anything else here? Anything from the audience? Councilman?
Dr. Albert, Councilman Summit. I would hope to hear a better explanation, forgive me for my ignorance, but the explanation regarding the debt for the building, I'm still a little lost on, so if possible, if I can maybe get an explanation like I'm a 5th grader, exactly how this is going to be paid for, because it wasn't clear to me. So if you could indulge me, I would appreciate a simpler explanation of the debt. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Mr. Zach, you want to draw that?
The bonds are going to be bonds of the Improvement Authority. The Improvement Authority is going to have a lease arrangement with the county. The lease payments will, in essence, be covering the cost of the debt on the building. And then the county has a guarantee just to support that for marketing purposes for the bonds.
So the debt's related to the Improvement Authority, not the county debt.
The debt is the debt of the Improvement Authority.
Debt, it is debt. So let at least anybody think there's not debt. There is. Over 30 years, it's the under incorporation with the Improvement Authority that will be paid. Right?
So, somehow, you did your little dance saying that, that the $45 million is lease payment. So the question actually is, if there's $555 million in county debt, then what is the UCIA debt total? So you can throw that in there with the $555 million, and then we'll find out what the full debt really is, because that $1.8 million is obviously an obligation that you can't shrug off anytime soon. So, maybe Director Taylor could come up and actually give us what the total debt is for the county and the UCIA combined. Look forward to Director Taylor maybe coming up with some numbers if you can.
Yeah, we can certainly put some numbers together on the Improvement Authority.
Within minutes or another time?
I don't know if we have that right in front of us, but certainly by next week.
Caroselli had it.
All right, that's all right.
Thank you very much.